learning under Katsuri Shibata for a while was it showed me a lot of the little intricate things that I was actually doing incorrectly. It really had me rethink my fundamentals.
Sarcophagus, which he is the mummy. He is a fez wearing mummy with a red coat and really bad puns.
I was RDC's first title fight, and now it's the first international fight. So I was super excited to have an opponent from overseas.
You, petty human with the mask, tell me where Optimus Prime is.
Hey, am I seeing things, or is there like a giant talking robot looking at me right now?
Do not mess with me, human. Bring me Optimus Prime.
How about I bring you a hockey stick to the face, pal? Google!
I went up to the luxury boxes where they had a box for family and friends. And that's when I looked out and I saw this little tiny ring in this giant sea of people, and I was like, holy fuck, I just did that. That's crazy.
I really think Superman's going to be another Blue Beetle, the Flash situation where they end up losing money. I would like to be proven wrong. I would like for it to be good.
This week's episode is sponsored by Dubby Energy Drinks. Dubby is a brand that is tried and tested with thousands of monthly people consuming their drinks. Dubby launched with just one flavor and slowly grew, and now they have created over 15 plus unique custom-made flavors that are enjoyed by thousands of monthly customers. So get off the big energy bandwagon and check out Dubby. This is how an energy drink should be. Jitter-free, crash-free, no sugars, no artificial colors or dyes, and no calories. And right now, you can get 10% off with the promo code ATPC90 from us here at the Adam Talks podcast as a special gift for you, just for checking out the show. So go to w.gg and use the promo code ATPC90 to get 10% off of your order now. And we're back with another awesome episode of the Adam Talks podcast with a very special guest, somewhat of a big name here in the town where I'm from, Hot Springs, Arkansas. He is a wide receiver for the Hot Springs Wiseguys, and this Saturday, going into a championship game after our first season, a successful first season, we were talking to number one, Aaron Dilworth. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. How you doing today, Adam?
Dude, I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. Been looking forward to being able to chat it up with you. I'm really excited about this whole thing, man. I haven't got the chance to see you live, like I said before we got started on here. I haven't got the chance to see you live, but dude, I've seen the highlights. I've seen how the work ethic you put in, dude, and it is absolutely phenomenal. Nothing short of amazing. Where does the crazy work ethic come from? Does it come from high school? Does it come from even before that? Is it something that you just had to pick up throughout your professional career?
My work ethic comes from my whole entire family. We're hardworking people, but as far as who I look up to and what really gave me that motivation to be that driven was my older brother Alex Darley. He one of the best athletes probably I ever seen play football, and I'm not saying that because he's my brother, but he did his thing in the football world, but he also showed me how to grind outside of football and just take that determination everywhere I go in life. So I feel like the work ethic's always been there, probably since I'm the youngest brother. I've always wanted to compete with those guys and stuff like that. But yeah, that's where it came from, Adam.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Well, let's jump way back. Let's jump back, maybe way back. High school. Where'd you go to school, man?
It's a small town, Corpus Christi, Texas, and I went to a high school called Flower Bluff. We weren't, a big Texas team in a sense, but I felt like now they've grown so much, bigger school, great coaches over there. My coaches were Coach Steinbrook. He's actually the AD over there right now, and then Coach Andrews. Those were my two head coaches at the time over there, both legendary coaches in the state of Texas, in my opinion, and the winners. So,
Yeah, man. What were the systems that y'all worked out of back then? Was it spread? Was it a run formation?
this is actually funny. Coach Andrews, he was a big triple option guy. He loved the beer. And so my senior year, I got to run spread offense with Coach Steinbrook. Two totally different offenses, but I got used in both offenses, just as much. And I enjoyed both coaches, but I definitely prefer the spread offense.
Definitely, man. What were some things that you learned while playing in high school that have helped to shape you and make you into the player that you are today?
Class pride and heart. Those are the three things that we beat into our heads as we worked out and we lifted and we became, a team. Coach Andrews and Coach Steinberg always told us to play with class, always play with pride, and always play with heart. So, every time you step on the field, if you play with those three things, you should have no problem being successful on that field. So I take that into, everyday life, play with class, you walk around with class, have pride in yourself, have pride in the way you appear and look to people, and then, always have heart. So I've taken those as I'm 28 years old today. I learned that in high school and I took that with me as a grown man. So.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. And it shows in the class shows definitely in the way you responded. I'm sure not only to me, but to other people you may have talked to doing this same sort of thing, man. Some people may be like, nah, I ain't got time for that. Some people may be like, yeah, man, yeah, let me get back to you, and then never talk to you again. But man, you were pretty quick on the reply, and I appreciate the hell out of that, man, because like I said, some people won't even take the time of day. That shows a lot of class in you, and you were very respectful whenever you sent the replies to me, man. So I appreciate that as well. As far as showing the heart, man, you can see it in the way you're making the catches for the Wiseguys and whatnot, man. You see that heart every time you're out there, man. Very excited to see what comes in the next time we see you in the red and black Wiseguys uniform. As
Yes,
far
sir.
as going back to high school, man, what was your records like? What was your did you make playoffs? Did you get to a state championship game? Was there
So,
any records that you set or anything?
so we never actually got to touch that state championship throughout the years, but I felt like I had a very successful career. I only lost 4 games in high school. I think we run over 35. We would go to playoffs every year, at least 2 to 3 rounds deep. And my senior year, we went 3 rounds deep. My sophomore year, we went 4 rounds deep. My junior year, we went 2 rounds deep. But the people we're losing to, they're usually the state champ or, a lot of those guys still playing in the field right now. So, sophomore year, we lost to Baker Mayfield and Lake Travis on that 5-year run. Um, we also lost to who else I'm trying to think about right now. Junior year, we played Port Lavaca, and they went to state championship and lost that game. And then we lost to Austin Vandergriff, and they happened to win the championship that year. So we were losing to, I feel like great organizations, great high school teams, and they had great coaches at the times as well. So.
What kind of big moments do you remember from your high school overall? What are some big moments for you that stand out?
My biggest moment was probably my junior year. I had to start both ways. And I wasn't really a DB at the time. I was just an athlete, but I really, grinded and I felt like perfected my craft at DB that year. In the off season, because I wanted to play both ways and never come off the field, and I was able to be an all-state DB as well as all-state receiver, and I think that was my biggest, accomplishment because it's my senior year to play both ways as well. So.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. You talked about your brother being the best athlete. I'm very much the same, man. And if my brother's listening to this, Alex, he was the best. He's the best athlete I know. He talked about coming and trying out for the team for the Wiseguys next season because he knows some of y'all. He sees you at Oaklawn on Mondays and stuff. So,
Okay.
but but yeah, he's the best athlete I know. He's not the fastest. He's not the biggest, strongest, but he plays with the most heart. There it is again. he plays with the most heart that I've ever seen anybody play with. He won't stop until the whistle's blown. You know what I mean? And on defense, it's go, go, go. On offense, it's hands for days. Like I say, he's not the fastest, but he can catch like no one I know. I
Yeah,
mean,
there you go.
apart from you, obviously. But, you know, he can catch better than anybody I know. But, dude, excellent, you know. Going from high school into college, what's the big changes going from high school, playing in that locker room environment, going into a different locker room at a bigger, higher level?
From
What was that like?
going from high school to college, I think the biggest thing was the playbook. Getting into it with the playbook and really uh, learning how to run routes. Also how to understand quarterbacks. Because in high school, I had a really good quarterback. His name was Cody Brewer. Probably, I mean, to this day, probably my favorite quarterback I played with. Just a good guy, 6'6", 250. You know, could run 4'6". Was just a natural freak, and there's not too many guys like that. So even in college, I had quarterbacks, and I had to learn. You know, maybe they're gifted in other ways, but they're not arm strength talentedly as gifted as him. So I had to learn how to uh, gel with them in that way, and learn how to get open in different ways. It wasn't just running go balls. It wasn't just running posts. I had to get open, actually running routes. And one of my quarterbacks is actually, coaching at Utah right now. And
Oh,
he's one of the smartest people I've ever met, Coy Detmer Jr. And that's who got me into understanding concepts a little bit better in college because that was my quarterback. But watching film with him and him breaking stuff down for me was life changing, I feel like.
yeah, man. As far as for one quick second, I want to jump back to high school. What is something that you think high schoolers are kind of not understanding about maybe the position of receiver that makes that you could what kind of wisdom could you impart on maybe some high schoolers that are listening right now that may not know about the position of wide receiver that is really important that you think maybe sometimes high schoolers just don't think about, don't know about, or maybe don't understand as well?
I think the biggest thing is just being yourself and knowing your body type, your structure, not playing out of your body, and also the biggest secret is obviously be able to catch the ball, run your routes, all the receiver stuff. But my biggest thing is blocking. That's what a lot of coaches have instilled in me, and get into all the higher levels that I've been to. You get stressed out a lot with the blocking. If you're young and you're listening, I would just take. It's not flashy. It's not the good play. It's not the rah play that the fans are gonna go crazy about. But that's something NFL coaches, CFL coaches, UFL coaches, they're looking at. Who blocks backside, who busts their butt backside and does what they're supposed to do, and makes those extra effort plays. Everybody can catch the touchdowns and want the ball, and be that me guy. I want the ball with the ball, but when it's time to block for a screen, are you getting your brother lit up in the backfield because you didn't block, or are you, blocking as hard as you're running that route for that touchdown? So those are some of the things that coaches that I've been with have instilled with me is blocking. You block, you get the rock. And that's a couple sayings that we got, but uh, I pride myself in catching the ball as a receiver. If it touches your skin, you should bring it in. uh, when I was a young cat in college, I had great older receivers that would help me out. Co-receivers, Deshae Milburn, this Devin Milburn, JT Thomas. I would compete with Ty Chisholm every day. James Washington the third. There was a lot of guys that were a little bit older than me. That would just push me and make me compete. So that work ethic was always, pushed, but helped with those older guys and stuff like that. Helping me out.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Speaking about college, man, what was the team like you came into, man? What was that? Not only the locker room environment, but the team you came into. Who all was there? What was the wins and losses like? And like I said, the locker room environment, maybe the stadium, being on that field for the first time in a college stadium. What was all that like for you, man?
Locker room was always not necessarily intense, but always, ready to go on game days. My first college game day, who did we play? I want to say, with Angela. That was my first, I can remember game. And big crowd. Angelo has a nice stadium. Um, and we were playing good. We actually won that game. I scored my first touchdown. And for me, I feel like the locker room like I was saying, the older guys took care of us. The younger guys, they weren't, trying to hide secrets. They kind of showed me how to be a vet and leader when I got older for younger guys. Help them out. Don't be that guy that doesn't give them the knowledge because you don't want them to be better than you. So they always, help me out in the bigger moments. And, Audrey had just graduated. So young guys got to step up now. And I know JT was starting. And I can't remember the other receiver starting. And his shoe fell off. I know I remember the guy's name now. I don't want to say it, but shoe fell off. And when his shoe fell off, I ran into the game. Wasn't supposed to go in, and just ran into the game to, fill that spot before coach could get a sub in. And I knew going to call a timeout. It was early, so I would get yelled at later. But when I ran in, I scored a touchdown, and capitalized on my moment. And after that, got more playing time, and the rest is history.
You said you come into like a family environment. Is that normal to come into that environment? And through your experience and your years of playing, is it a normal thing, or have you been in those kind of locker rooms where it's like, no, I'm gonna get mine before you get a chance to get yours?
The only so the only time I feel like it's valid when you get to a professional level to kind of feel that way. Yeah, you want to be a brotherhood, but obviously you got to feed your family, so it's a job. So the only locker room I've been in kind of where it's like a little tension, CFL, NFL, XFL, those type of locker rooms. Obviously you got your brothers, but you're competing for a lot of money and a spot to play on TV and all that stuff. So those guys take that very seriously, and it's a great environment, but sometimes it's a sticky situation, and you know, I could say high school is the purest form of football. You get your brothers and your teammates, and you're not. Well, it's different nowadays. Back when I was playing, you weren't playing for money. You weren't playing for, you're playing to get your name out there. You're playing to go to college. You're playing to, get to NFL and do what you got to do with all these uh, NIL deals, which I love it for the kids. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not hating at all. I love it for the kids. I want them to get every penny they can get out of this football stuff before they get injured and stuff like that. Because you're gonna be beat up, and so I'm very for the NILs, but it also I feel like kind of they kind of get lackadaisical because they know they got money, and so they don't gotta go to like that to get money, which is good in my opinion. Gives them different career choices. But thing is, it's sticky because it's a situation with money. You want kids to want to play ball because they want to put themselves in the best situation. So hopefully they understand that part of the game. But
Yeah. Do you think that money that they're able to get now from having agents or whatever it is, I'm not privy to all exactly how that works in college. Do you think that takes away a lot of the players' heart maybe because they're like, hey, I'm getting paid now, I ain't got to play as hard? Or do you
yeah,
think it kind of incentivizes them to play harder?
that depends on again me how I was raised. Uh, Obviously, money incentives. You got to know your value and stuff like that when you get older. But in high school, I'm just being honest. You should be playing for offers. You should be playing to get your name out there. The money will come, and that's what I always tell athletes. Like if you're a good athlete and you're busting your butt every day, and somebody sees that, they're gonna consider that in real life after you're done playing too. You may get a job just because of how hard you worked in football. So
Right.
I make sure I kind of let even the kids I've coached before and stuff like that let them know like don't play for you know followers. Don't play to get attention. Don't play because the cameras are out there. Don't play for money. Play because you love the game. Play because this is fun to y'all guys. Don't go out there and do this because your parents want you to play. You got to go out there, and it's a different feeling. It's a different, environment when you genuinely love football and you're out there on that field. So that's all I try to instill in my kids, and I
Absolutely, man.
just I just wasn't raised, or I'm not a big money guy. I have it, but I'm not a big, materialistic, any of that. Down to earth and kind of country, city boy. Don't like the city. I like the country more than the city. So
Yeah. I mean, you got to play with heart. I was a professional wrestler from 22 till last June, from 2022 to last June, and I wasn't making hardly anything. But before I was a professional wrestler, I loved professional wrestling. Right, I loved it with all my heart since I was 7 years old. I did backyard wrestling with my own promotion for like freaking, I want to say at least 2 or 3 years, falling on the ground on top of like wood with like a quarter inch of foam padding. So I'm falling on the ground basically. No
I
pay, no
feel
crowd, no nothing. Just recording it, put out there because I love the sport. And I feel like that's something that maybe people are missing out on. That feeling for the love of the game, for the love of whatever it is you find. You do it well enough, people are going to
it's gonna
notice,
get you.
and then you'll get that money that you deserve to
Yep.
get. If that's what you're after, if you're after making a name for yourself, you'll get that as well with it. Um, but as far as going back to college, your freshman year, man, what were some ups and downs and big moments in your freshman year?
The ups and downs was not starting, so that was the biggest like down in college for me, was going from being like that guy, the go-to guy, to kind of being in the rotation, maybe getting the ball every once in a while in a game and trying to make a play with that. Um, I think the biggest upside was being ready for my moment. Like I said, when that guy's shoe came off mid-game, and coach said X running the game, at receiver. And a lot of guys could have ran in probably, but I was so locked in that moment, I was able to shoot in the game first. And I know I wasn't supposed to be in first, but I still shot it and tried to make a play, and I did. And so I think those are the biggest upsides, is just being ready for your moment, staying ready, not being jealous over the guys over you, learning from them, getting as much knowledge as you can from them, and just, you know, being the best you could be on that field. Don't try to be anybody else. Those are the biggest upsides I think I learned, is just being myself, and being very positive, I guess, on the field. I feel like a good teammate, I try to be up all game, never get too low on myself, even if I'm having a bad game. It happens to everybody. So just try to put that into the air as well. Be as good and positive as you can be out there. Before the games, when I'm out there and going, probably shake and probably shake 20, each guy's hand probably like 20, 30 times before the game starts, because I tell them all the time, you shake hands, it gives good vibes for the game, gives good chemistry for the game. So try to be a good team guy, get the team going.
Absolutely, man, absolutely. So after that touchdown, were you starting rotating in your freshman year, or was it one of those things where you still had to earn your spot to be a starter?
I was doing I basically had to earn my spot. So after I scored that touchdown, I started getting a little bit more playing time. About the seventh game of the season, I was starting. So it took a little while, but I feel like once I kind of got going, and they could see I could actually play football, and I didn't know the plays the best my freshman year, but I was getting in the right formations at least, and that was my biggest downfall, not learning, my playbook like I should have my freshman year, because I felt like I could have started week one if I really knew it. And once I got with Coy the next year, I felt like I had a quarterback who was really in his playbook, really, trying to make me the best version I could be on that field, because he wanted to be the best version of himself.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, like you said earlier, you were coming out of high school, and the playbook was the biggest thing, right? That's what you said a little bit earlier. The playbook, getting to know the playbook, getting used to the playbook was the biggest thing coming from high school. So, very understandable, man. Having trouble with that playbook, but by the end of the year, you were starting, and then you move over to your sophomore year, moving forward from your sophomore year on. Uh, what does that look like for you, man? What does that look like sophomore year forward? Whether you were sophomore, junior, or where you went all the way to your senior year? What did the rest of your collegiate career look like?
My sophomore year was good. I enjoyed that. Next year, had a better year, scored 5 more touchdowns, had 400 more yards. Learning the system, playing good, getting rolling into my junior year. That was my biggest year. I had 11 touchdowns, over 800 yards, and I think only one receiver is Mario Manning. He went to the Broncos for a little bit. He was the only receiver that got drafted from our conference that year, but he was the only receiver that had more yards than me. So good accomplishment for me to be in the top 5 in touchdowns and yards that year. Um, had a great year that junior year, and COVID happened to be my senior year. So I didn't get that senior year like I wanted it, but I tried to transfer out and go to East Central, and I ended up not being able to play because of the clock. Like my clock was up basically, and so instead of playing, I went and played my first year of arena football at West Texas, and it was like the CIF, the Texas League. Played 7 games, got moved up and played in the IFL for Sioux Falls for another 7. So it took me a total of about 14 games, and ended up getting a shot with the Edmonton Elks in the CFL. They ended up signing me on a 2-year contract, and was blessed and fortunate enough to play there, and wanted to weigh my options with the XFL coming up in the when they made the XFL league and The Rock announced it. In my head, I was like, I could stay over in Canada, or I can try to play in front of my family at XFL. So I did end up, before I was trying to make that decision, I got cut, came back home, and went to a couple NFL camps, came back home to Dallas, and then I ended up getting drafted in the XFL. So when I got drafted, played out there for a little bit. And my journey's been kind of crazy, man. But played in, I think, possibly every league you could probably play in. That's an actual professional league. I played in it. So, I played in LFA in Mexico. That's like NFL Mexico to me out there. The only league I didn't go play for is the European League, and it's by my choice. I just haven't been out there,
Yeah,
haven't wanted to go out there. But that's the only place, or league that I feel like is a professional league that I haven't been in. So all the indoor leagues I feel like I've played in now because of this TAL. I wanted to try out, see what this league was like, and I feel like I've been very successful with football, very bought in every time I played. So I'm very fortunate to, have had a good year this year, and that kind of catches me up to my whole football career.
yeah, man. Dude, you made strides for this. I feel like for our team here in Hot Springs. And I was talking to my dad a little bit earlier, and he had told me, he's like, whenever you're broadcasting now, you can't be saying my team. But no, I do it every time I talk. And every time I talk about anything on my show, it's my preference because it's my show. And
Yeah.
this is my hometown, man. Like I sent you in that message. This is Hot Springs Wiseguys Arena Football. I only got to see the last 2 games, which really, really sucks. I wasn't able to make it to any of the other games, but man, what a first game to come in and watch that. The first, the last actual season game against the Woo, and then the playoff rematch. Uh, Crazy
Oh
games.
yeah. Oh yeah. Both crazy games. We had some guys step up. One in particular is my I call him little bro, but number 6 James. He played well. We needed that spot to be filled, and we were not stressing him all week. But I told him just have fun, go out there, enjoy it. You're from Arkansas, have fun. Your family's gonna be watching. You play football your whole life, man. Just enjoy it. And that's one guy I want to shout out. Played very well, the first game and the second game. A lot of guys were trying to figure out who was going to fill that void, who was going to, and I feel like the team just did a good job of stepping up and everybody playing ball. There was no panic. There was no, oh, AD's not playing. No, we're going to step up. We're going to play football, regardless of who's playing, regardless of who's on the field. And, all my brothers played well. All of them came out there and had a good game plan of how we were going to beat Iowa. And we did that 2 times in a row. And we feel like even this next week, heading to this championship, it's just making us bond more and stronger. I feel like you know, we're not going to be stopped. Championship game's not going to necessarily be easy, but we're gonna put our foot on their necks again and make it 2-0 against Duluth.
Yeah, man. We're going to take a pause. I'm going to take a pause real quick on the questions and do something that I do every show about halfway through, and that is a mental health moment, because man, mental health is such an important thing for me. I've had anxiety, I've had depression, I've dealt with PTSD, gotten through that luckily. But let's talk about Aaron Dilworth. Let's talk about the pressures you feel as a player. And I know you're a very positive guy, but I'm sure some anxiety, some things have hit you throughout your career. What are some of those harder things, and how did you deal with those, man?
I think the biggest things, like for my career wise, I would say was first time getting cut. So CFL, I think those bigger leagues, NFL, CFL, XFL, it's a business at the end of the day. If they're not making money, or jerseys aren't selling, um, they're not winning, whatever the case is, they may have to bring in a big name guy, or they may have to do certain things in order to, make money. So I understand that now that I'm older, but when I was younger, it was kind of like I've never been cut before. I'm about to quit.
Almost like a
This,
slap in the face.
yeah, this kind of sucks type of deal, and I put in so much effort. And again, one of the people I always talk to about, any problems or anything I have is my older brother Alex, and one thing he always tells me is don't do the poor me stuff. So instead of me complaining and going home and being depressed, I went home and hit the gym and started working out, because that's why I was cutting the CFL. Said I, need to gain a little weight. My body size, they didn't like how skinny I was, so he just gained a little weight. Went home and really put on weight. And I want to say about 2022, 2023, really put on, a couple pounds. And by that time, I was looking real good. I was actually going to a couple NFL camps. I was fortunate enough to go and go to the Seahawks camp, go to Bears. I was in Dallas at another NFL camp. So been very blessed after that to go to a couple camps and then end up in the XFL with an opportunity again, get drafted in the fifth round to play football again. So, even then it was, not what I wanted, week 2 of the season I got cut. So, made it through preseason, thought I was going to be able to play. And then right before the game, they cut us. And in my opinion, again, I felt like it was a slap in the face because, all the work I put in. And it's never no disrespect to those other guys, but I just feel like, it's a business, whether it's they knew somebody or whatever the case may be, bigger name. They had to keep certain guys because they are already invested with certain people. So I understand that now. But as far as going to those places, which on the bright side, which just spinning around, the only thing I can say is that when I went up there and played, you always question like, can I play with those guys? Can I, make that catch against so and so? And I know without a shadow of a doubt I could play against anybody, anywhere, any league, anytime. I know I could play football at the highest levels. Couldn't go to NFL right now. I feel like I can play football. I would just, you know, obviously need a chance to do it. But I
Yeah.
feel like I'm a good receiver. And I know my abilities and what I'm capable of out there. So it's never been that. It's always been, who I know and how I can get, to a higher league or whatever. But I don't have those bigger connections like other people. And instead of doing the poor me stuff, I just go back to my roots and I play arena because I enjoy it. And then I end up getting picked up or something crazy like that. So it's been a blessing my whole football career. I don't have a story like anybody else, and I played in crazy situations. I feel like all off of faith and all off of me believing in my own dream. So
Yeah, man. It would be a very deflating thing, like getting cut from a team, especially at a professional level. Getting cut and saying, "Hey, we appreciate what you've done, but we're not renewing your contract or whatever it may be." Um,
yeah,
and I couldn't imagine that kind of feeling, having that going through your head, being like, I've worked this hard, I've worked so hard doing this and stuff. And I'm sure a lot of other people feel the same way about other things in their life. Like, getting fired from a job, or like getting not getting that starting position, or if they're an actor or something, not getting the role they auditioned for. What advice could you give to the people maybe dealing with that same deflation feeling?
I think the biggest feeling I could tell them to do is don't get too down on yourself and never get too high up on yourself. So when you're going through those situations where you feel like it's over, or say you're in high school, you're not on 18 or you're not on this. Take it as a lesson. Don't get in your feelings about it. Obviously, they're doing it for a reason. Whether it's something you can understand at that time or not, they're doing it for a reason. If you were scoring every play, I promise you they wouldn't have cut you. They probably,
Yeah.
I promise you. So that's how I look at it now. When I go there and I'm like, oh, they cut me because I was too small. I had to tell myself, stop saying that out loud. You got cut because you were not prepared for your moment. Whether it was uh, conditioning, whether it was catching every football, whether it was winning one on ones, whether it was winning team, whatever it was, no mental mistakes. I know I had to get out of my own head and just learn myself better and figure out how I can be better on that field, be a better teammate, be a better leader, and just be the best receiver I could be on that field.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, great advice, man. I appreciate that. Let's get out of this mental health check. Like I said, I appreciate that because, like I said, mental health's a huge part of my life, and I want to be able to help anybody who's listening with your words may have helped somebody by you just saying that right there.
Yes,
So
sir.
I appreciate that a lot. It means a lot to me. Let's get back to your football career. You said you started in after college. You went to arena football, right? What was
Yes,
that
sir.
transition like for you, man? You went from a 100-yard field down to like a 60-yard field or a 50-yard field, depending on which league you're in, I suppose.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. So
Thinner field goals and all kinds of stuff, man. What was that experience like? Different rules, different size field, everything. What was that experience like transitioning to that?
So the biggest transition for me was how quick the game is. You gotta get your head around quicker and certain things like that. So my first year, West Texas, we won all 7 games. We didn't lose. We won a championship, and I feel like the biggest concern for me wasn't the field, wasn't the rules or anything like that. I felt like all that was kind of easy getting into play. The one thing that was crazy to me was the receiver room we had my rookie year. Um, And Carlos Thompson, uh, he played at Tech for a little bit. Was on that Netflix show for Last Chance U for Independence. Then went on and played at West Texas with me that next year. So he was there. Jordan Gandy, he played at Murray State. Had a chance with the Philadelphia Eagles, and currently he was just on Nashville Cats last year. Uh, De'Aaron Townsend was on the team. He was another receiver. He just won a championship with the Albany Firebirds this year.
Wow.
Isaiah Scott, he's another receiver that ended up getting hurt, but he was on the team. He just won a championship with the Albany Firebirds. So we had me as well, and I was very fortunate to lead the league with all those guys on my team. Now, granted, we all had almost the same amount of touchdowns, same amount of yards, and it was very close as far as our statistical category. But to have 15 touchdowns with those type of guys on my team and lead the league, uh, just spoke about our work ethic as a unit. I feel like that was one of the best receiver rooms ever I've been a part of, like in my life, and I've been in some big leagues. So those guys can all play football, all play with ball at a very high level, and
Yeah.
I think that's what my rookie year made me was like, okay, these dudes can play. Like even though this is arena, even though this is not the league, these dudes can play, and I need to bring it to practice every day if I want to start this week. And so they pushed me every day, and then that next year, or kind of the same year, but next year when we went to Sioux Falls, feels a little bit bigger. More fans in the arena, cleaner. It's on TV. It's on CBS. It's on all this stuff to where we can watch, and very more professional than my rookie year. And so now I really felt like a professional. I had to put an extra work in, and that next year, now I'm on a team, and I was There's only okay. Now when I get to those other receivers, they're pretty good too. But uh, the Sioux Falls receiver room, we just had an NFL vet on our team named Jaleel Davis, played for the Giants and the Green Bay Packers. And when I first got there, that was the real first NFL guy I ever met, and was telling me like, "Hey, bro, you got it. You could play at that next level." So when I got there, that gave me that confidence that I was really the best in the league. Nobody was better than me, and I really honed in on that those seven games I played with Sioux Falls, and ended up getting picked up by Edmonton halfway through the season. So I didn't even get to play that full season.
Oh wow.
How good I was doing and leading the league and stuff like that year.
Wow, man. That's crazy. So like you were killing it. You were killing it, man. For them to be like, no, we want you right now.
Yeah, so usually
Come to
they
Canada.
wait till after the season or whatever, and I was able to come in like I think it was week one. They had just finished the preseason. They played week one against Calgary, and they called me in, and it was like 12 o'clock at night. Called me in and flew me up that next week.
Wow. So, all right. So I asked about the rules a little bit ago. You said the field size didn't really change anything. The rules didn't change anything. Are the rules any different for receivers in arena league rather than in a normal normal football capacity?
Not really. The only difference is we can come in high motion. So when we come in high motion, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, Adam. I'll tell this to all the fans. I'll joke, but again, my older brother played arena, and he says, "Bro, if anybody can guard you in high motion, you suck." So it's a joke we say, but I always, instill that in myself. Like when I'm in high motion and they're in man coverage, I shouldn't be guarded. I'm already at an advantage in football because they're backwards, and I think like that as a receiver naturally. It's like nobody could be able to guard me.
Right.
But I'm coming at you full speed and high motion. Now you're there's no chance. And so when I think that way, that's how arena. My head was just formed that way. And as a kid, watching my brother play, watching him kill DBs and running around and stuff like that, and just letting me know, hey man, don't allow them to touch you. Don't allow them to mess you up on your route. Just certain things like I kind of had those tips already from him. So naturally, to me, it was easy to go out there and just play football. I'm a natural receiver, so it was honestly easy to adapt into that arena. And then the field was smaller. I'm a fast guy, so I get out of it
Feel a
quickly.
lot quicker.
Yeah.
Was that side note? Was there a lot of in-house competition between you and your brother?
Oh yeah. So there's I got three brothers, um, but I grew up with two of them, and two of them we were very competitive growing up. One's almost 9 years older than me, and the other one's 2 years older than me. And the oldest, he's 11 years older than me. So the oldest, but there was no real competition because he's gonna beat me up. There's no real competition there.
Yeah.
Even with the one that's 9 years older than me, but I always wanted to break their records if that makes sense. The only real competition growing up was me and my two. He's only 2 years older than me. But that was the competition, and where it was like, okay, we got to play basketball against each other. We got to play football. We got to play soccer. Anything we did, we had to play against each other because that was my competition. So I felt like growing up, that always made me better because I was always playing up, whether it was with his friends or AAU. I was always playing with people older than me. I never played with people my age. So then when I did play with people my age, it was easier. So, yeah, with my older brother, I've always been that competitive. Uh, I've always been super competitive. It sounds bad. I'm the biggest sore loser you'll probably ever meet because I don't like winning more than I like losing, if that makes sense. I don't like losing. I don't like losing at all, man.
My brother was exactly the same way. He's younger than me by 3 years, but you couldn't tell by if we were standing beside each other. My youngest daughter said Uncle Bubba is older because he's taller and he has a bigger beard. So that's her logic. She's turning 10, but he's older because he's 6 foot. He says 6 foot 1 3/4, and he's like 220 pounds, something like that, 230 pounds. And I'm 5'5", 5'6", and about 180 pounds.
Okay.
And
See, that's how it is with my brother. The one that's 2 years older than me. I'm 6'3", he's 6'1". Weight, it just depends. I'm usually heavier than him all the time, but I'm tall. I've been taller than him since my junior sophomore year of high school, and so I feel you on this one. And I'm the little brother, but everybody thinks there's a chance I'm an older brother when I get around sometimes, and I gotta tell them I'm the little bro.
and whenever we were younger, we would have throwing competitions and stuff because I'm slow, probably because I got little legs, but I'm slow, and I like to play quarterback. I like to throw. We did a little no pads tackle football in 2011 or something, so I was a quarterback. He could beat me in accuracy, in throwing distance. He could beat me in speed and catch in any aspect of the game. My brother is way better than me, but I always wanted to beat him. I always wanted to get one up on him because it was hilarious when we were kids watching him. He would lose, and he was a horrible sport. He would throw a controller down on the ground if we were playing Madden or something. He'd be like,
That sounds
"No,
like me.
no," or he'd be like, or he'd be like, "Let's do it again. Let's do it again." I'm like, "Dude, I just beat you." No, I'm good because I finally beat him once. And then he'd be like, "Oh, this is stupid. You cheated. You did the same thing over and over." The one or
Oh, I
two
was
times out of 10 times I beat him, he would say I was cheating. He's gotten over that since then, but that was the funniest stuff I ever experienced with him. Whenever I would beat him at anything, he'd get so mad. It was great.
I feel your brother on that, man. He's giving you he's being nice about it. My older brothers, anytime they'll tell you I was losing in the video game, so we're playing Madden or something. It'll be a third quarter, I'd be losing bad. I would go hit the console button. So if we were playing on say we're playing on the PS1 or we're playing on a Xbox or something, I'm gonna go hit that button real quick or drink whatever we were playing on back in the day as kids. GameCube, Dreamcast, whatever it was, bro. I would go hit that button and I would run out the room because I knew I would have to fight after. But they would beat me up, jump me, whatever. But if I was losing, hitting that sync button and if we're starting this over.
We're doing that. I ain't doing that. You just go sit in your room and
Yeah,
pop for like 10 minutes and then come back. You want to do it again?
yeah. So it was bad. I was the biggest sore loser, bro. I remember I broke a game. I would break games, and hide
Oh,
them. I would so much stuff as a kid because I was the youngest brother and I felt like everybody was picking on me. So.
I think I
Um,
think I think the game that he beat me the most on was Madden '03 on PS2. He kicked my ass so
See,
much.
I didn't beat my brother in a Madden until I played Madden. I want to say 8 years before I beat my big brother in a single game. So I think it was like who was on the cover? Vic or no, it was Donovan
'03
McNabb
was
in
Mark
'06.
Paul. '03 was.
Donovan McNabb was on the cover. That was the first
Oh
Madden I
yeah,
ever.
yeah. That had
And
the
then
crappy quarterback vision thing. I hated that.
yeah, so after that one, I didn't beat him again until the Vince Young cover.
Oh wow, that's
So
'08.
yeah, that's why I was like, it's bad, bro. It took me 2 years after I beat him once to beat him again, and then
That, that's
we didn't start having good games until I want to say Larry Fitzgerald when he was on the cover.
that's
Uh,
11. He
yeah,
was on
when he
there
was
with
on the
Palomalu.
yeah him and Palomaro. That's when I started kind of learning concepts and understanding football and was getting older. So he couldn't just beat me because I didn't know the game of football.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. Talking about your CFL journey now, man. What was your experience like once you got there? I know you already told us about the downfall after a little while being there, but what was your rookie year like in the CFL?
Oh, I loved it. When I first got out there, it was cold. I can say that. That was my first thought when I got off the plane. It was very cold, but Canada is so clean and pretty. And uh, I told my mom, man, when we get old, we all got to move out there, just 'cause of how pretty it was. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my first pro experience. Edmonton, how generous they were bringing me out there. The facilities were second to none. Uh, Best stadium I've been in my life. They have the same layout as the Chiefs, so they have the same exact stadium as the Kansas City Chiefs, just in green and yellow. And
Wow.
perfect field. It was just breathtaking, honestly. When you get to your dream, when you sign a contract, it was crazy when I first went out there. The amenities you have, all the access to the the tools, the food they give you, all the gear they give you. It was just overwhelming when I first got there. I'm gonna be completely honest. I think you know, even meeting NFL players and their CFL guys, one specifically, we laugh about it. He's a good older bro figure. His name's Matt Elam, and first round pick by the Baltimore Ravens. When I first got to Edmonton, I got to meet him and James Wilder were the first two, big name guys I met. And James Wilder, Florida State legend, played in the league for Buffalo Bills for a little bit, Cincinnati Bengals. And those are the two guys, I'm being honest with you, man. It's not, I say those names because I used to watch their highlight tapes in high school. So I'm growing up, and right before the game, I would put on, certain highlights, Matt Elam's Florida highlights. Those are legendary highlights. And you put those on, get hype, and then go play. And now I'm lining up against him in practice. So it was little things like that that were very overwhelming to me at first. Like, I've never been starstruck, but I'm a big football junkie. So I don't, I've never been one to have idols or, fantasize or celebrities. Or feel like if I'm in a room with a celebrity, they're regular people. If she's a female, I have a chance with her. I could talk to her like she's a regular person. So I've never been one to be like, oh man, that's, Beyonce. I gotta go ask her for her. I've never been that type of guy. So going up there, I was like, hey man, I can't lie. Can you sign my cleats for me? Put these up in a case, And so it was certain guys, I met up there, and I was like, damn, this is crazy. I'm really, teammates with so and so, and so that was the only thing up there that really kind of had me like, okay, man, lock in, bro. You're just playing football, Stop. I'm thinking about these guys playing, asking them questions like, hey, how was this when you were playing, in college, and I'm trying to figure out, when I was in high school watching them, like, how was that environment? How was Florida versus LSU? How was, Florida State versus Florida? And those are just some of the things I got to talk to them with about, and just growing and getting better at the game of football, understanding the real playbook when they throw, 50 plays at you, you got to learn them, and then they switch the plays the next day, and you gotta learn 50 more just in case, for concept reasonings, or you gotta learn the whole playbook, top to bottom. Uh, Concepts are longer than some sentences. There's just a lot of stuff you gotta digest within a couple of days and just go out there and play football. Like you said, I was coming off of a 60-yard field. Nobody ever, and I'm being real, a lot of Americans, a lot of people from the U.S. don't even know the CFL field is bigger than the NFL field.
Oh shit.
So when I got out there, the field's 120 yards. It's not 100 yards, it's 120. Ends
Oh
over
wow.
20 yards big, and then the side to side of the field is longer too. So I go from being on a 50, 60-yard field to being on double that, and I look tired out there the first couple of days, and I know. So in my head, I got to push through and little things like that. And they have me on special teams. Uh, I think that's a big part of my game now that I'm older too. If you're a young guy listening, besides the blocking, special teams. Everybody, thinks the star players don't touch the special teams. In my opinion, when I'm coaching, I put the best guys on special teams. So if you're a 4-star, 5-star safety and you play both ways, you're on that kickoff unit. Because what I try to get guys to understand is if you could play the whole time on the field, one, coach sees that. But when a coach sees the starting corner, first one down on the field on kickoff, making tackles every time, pinning them inside the 15, inside the 20, setting up your defense to make stops and giving the field advantage battle, that's a big thing in our arena. And that's what I tell these guys now. Like, not everybody could be a superstar. Not everybody can make touchdown catches, can throw touchdowns, can run in touchdowns. There's only one quarterback on the field. There's only one football on the field. So, make plays anywhere else. You can go get the ball on kickoff. All you got to do is strip the ball, Or you can go make a play on kickoff return and return the ball. So there's ways to still be effective. And that's what I try to get, guys to understand now. You don't have to be a flashy touchdown guy. Be the guy on special teams. You're probably, I don't know if you know this guy. He plays for the Seahawks. His name's Ricardo Lockett. And had a very successful career. And all he did, to me, he was one of the best special teams guys. He would pin guys in, punt return. He would pin guys inside the 20, catch the football, and he was in the league for like I want to say 8+ years. So
Oh, okay.
it's things like that where he wasn't a touchdown guy, but he would go in and block, kick return, kick off, and he would just make plays. And I always remember him because of the plays he made on special teams. So I took that into my own game, and even this year, you'll see me on kickoff, trying to make tackles, trying to make plays when I feel like we need a spark. That's just how I've always been as far as trying to be a playmaker on the field.
Yeah,
So
man.
that's what Canada, as far as Canada, good and the bad, but that's the how Canada was for me.
You talked about a little bit about the field being bigger. What were some other things? I know you said something about the field goals. I know the field goals are at the front of the end zone in Canada.
Yeah, so
Uh,
the end zones are
did that
20
hurt you?
yards.
Did that hurt your receiving in the end zone a little? Any?
Yeah, so to me, I mean, everything when I got there was different. There's only three downs in football, in Canadian football.
Whoa!
Um, you can also punt and recover the punt 1 yard. So, say you punt the ball 1 yard and it goes past the line of scrimmage 1 yard, the offense can recover it, and that resets the downs for the offense.
Wow!
So it's a lot of crazy rules. You could have two receivers in high motion. There's an extra man on the field, so it's 12 on 12. It's not 11 on 11.
Wow!
There's just so many different rules. Running back, there's a lot of running. Running back can come in high motion too, so you can have a running back running downhill to plunge it into the goal line. With the end zones being in the front of or with the field goals being in the front of the end zone, it is harder to run specific plays, but you can use that end zone as a pick play machine.
Okay.
And people will run drag routes and concepts like that right by the pole because the defenders might not see it, run into it, hit it, slow them down, something, and those are a lot of the touchdowns. Fade balls in the CFL are money. It's just too much space for those corners to guard it. Uh, what's another? I know the altitude up there is a little bit different than America. It's high up. It's cold, so you're short of breath sometimes when you're playing out there. Um, I know Calgary was pretty cold.
Okay. Well, man. So as far as your time in Canada, change of pace is different too. I'm sure, right?
Oh yeah, change of pace. Where as far as practices are a little bit longer. Speed of the game is crazy. Everybody. That's when I learned like arena. There were some great athletes, great players I played against. But when I got to the CFL, everybody's fast. Everybody can run. Everybody can jump. Everybody's an athlete. So um, there was some player. Obviously, you got your crazy freaks, and then you got your it's okay that he's on the team, but and all in all, majority of those guys, linebackers, safeties, um, the only people that weren't fast to me were the offensive linemen, but everybody else was kind of fast. Linebackers could move like receivers. Uh, Different size guys. I remember playing a lot of 6'5" and 6'4" corners in the CFL. There was taller DBs for sure in the CFL. Transitioning, and I think that's because you got those receivers in high motion. They want taller guys out there. I
Yeah,
know the
man.
linebackers are hybrid linebackers. Got to be able to move. Got to be able to chase those slot receivers that are in high motion as well. Game's just so different out there.
Man. So you go from there, you get cut, and then a little while later you're in the XFL, the newly rebooted XFL by Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Um, and you were in the draft, and you got drafted in the fifth round. What was that feeling like being picked by a team, a professional team in a professional football draft? I'm sure that was crazy too.
That was actually crazy because I didn't think I was going to get drafted. So uh, it was later on in the draft. I want to say it was like the fifth day, fourth day they were doing it. And I just remember calling my mom and being like, "Man, mom, I went to that camp and they did pretty good." We had a session of like NFL camp where we did one-on-ones, and I'm just throwing a number. Say we did 20 one-on-ones. I probably won 16, 17 of the one-on-ones. So I was in front of 30 NFL coaches, and I felt like that, after coming back from the CFL, that's why that happened that way. But I had a great camp, and when I did get that call, you know, it was my second time getting a call like that because the first time the CFL called me it was after a game. Hey man, we want to bring you in, but the draft call was just a cool feeling because it's the first time I actually get drafted in something, and I didn't get drafted in the NFL, so it's the closest thing to it, and
Yeah.
just made me feel good. Like man, you accomplished something. You said you wanted to get it done, you got it done, no matter what round it was. You got it done, and then to see my name next to certain names, um, not saying that gave me validation, but it makes you feel like, hey man, I'm a good football player. It's starting to get noticed. You're putting that work in, it's starting to get noticed. And when you're talking to, I talked to Terrell Buckley, Coach Buckley. He a good coach, Hall of Famer. Played with FSU, played with guys like Deion Sanders and just legends. This cool to me, whether I made stuck long or got cut off of that team. It was a blessing for them to call my name and say, "Hey man, we want to bring you in and bring you in for this season." So it wasn't a tryout. I didn't have to go, camps like other guys and do all this stuff. I got, I sent him my film. He liked my film and drafted me off of my film. So I was able to get blessed and put in that position. So I'm forever grateful for that. And I'm forever grateful for them giving me an opportunity, to get seen by the world and on ESPN, all the stuff they did for me to further my career.
Yeah, man. You were drafted, or were they by the Guardians? Is that right?
Yes, sir, Orlando Guardians.
Orlando Guardians. They were before, whenever they were brought back in like 2020 or 2021. It was New York Guardians, I believe.
Yep, the New
Uh,
York Guardians, they were red and black.
yeah, that season I kept up with, but I wasn't able to keep up with the season that you were playing in. What was that experience like playing there? Was it regular football? No, it was spring ball, right?
Yeah, it was spring ball. It was pretty cool because we were all living in Dallas, and at the time I was already living in Dallas. So the hub, all players, whether you were St. Louis, Houston, Arlington, it didn't matter where you're from, you were living in Dallas. And so I was already living there at the time, had my own place, and it was convenient. I was able to drive to the stadium, go to practice, fly out for the game. We would play at, Camping World in Orlando. Um, you know, it was just an amazing opportunity. I felt like the coolest thing was going, finally being able to go to the football practice, go to work, and then come home and see my family, see my girl, and just have that time with them because I don't get that a lot when I'm going to work per se and going to practice. Like I have to go home and cook my own food and just do certain things I don't like doing. So I was able to go see family and my girl and do the things I love to do. So.
I got you, man. Right on. But they're normal football rules, right? No special rules with the XFL. It's normal stuff, right?
Yeah, everything was normal. The only thing that was different was our kickoff, and then the NFL stole that from us, and they started doing that on their kickoff.
Oh,
So
okay.
I think that was the first. I mean, they probably did it before, but I remember like we were doing that already in the XFL when I played, and they implemented that kickoff rule to keep it more safe because we got guys flying down, taking people's heads off back in the day on kickoff. And I guess they're just trying to make football a little bit more safe, but one thing about it is, to me, it's like I get making football safe, but you got to stop changing these rules because that's like changing the hockey rules here in a little bit. So,
Changing,
uh,
it changed so many rules. Like, and I know keeping the quarterback is safe and everything like that, But if a player runs by and he hits the quarterback's head with his hand and the quarterback doesn't go down and they call like roughing the quarterback on that, that's a ridiculous call. It's like, what are you doing?
yeah,
I've
and I
seen.
know I know a lot of defensive ends who they tell me they like to make sure the quarterback knows they're there, so they'll touch him regardless of if you let the ball go or not. Just give him a little tap. And some coaches are calling that now. So it's I get what you're saying with that.
Yeah, man. Let's go on to the last topic at hand. We are talking red and black, hot springs, wise guys stuff right now, man. 5-3 on the season, one playoff win, and one game away from potentially being the Arena League champions. in the second season, the first season for the Wiseguys. How did we get to this point? What went into this season being successful for us?
I was one of the only older guys on the team at the time. Me and Bones had talked, and when he was getting his team together, he called a lot of those older guys separately and told us, "Hey, like if we're gonna do this, let me know if y'all guys are in." And we all kind of talked separately and as a group and said, "Hey, let's do this together. Let's go out there and win a championship real quick and have fun doing it." We all, we're dope football, kind of working, and we had the vets we wanted, so we brought those guys in, and they didn't come in right away. I'm just being honest, so that's kind of why we had some of those early losses. But I feel like when the actual vets got here, the team got here, because it was kind of hard to win those first couple of weeks, just with so many rookies out there, younger guys not having that experience and stuff like that. And once we started gelling, once we got those vets in that we needed, I feel like we started rolling. So with our team, we got Jordan Ambrose at quarterback. Not necessarily a vet, but has some IFL experience and just a bought-in teammate. He's a good guy, knows what he's doing at the quarterback position, and having vet guys at the receiver position to help him make those decisions and help him understand the game. I think that's where he has the advantage on a lot of these guys in this arena league. As far as his offensive lineman, Kyle, seasoned vet, has played in every AFL, IFL, AF1, whatever you name it, he's played in. So great guy blocking for him in front of him. With me out there, I try to help out as much as I can, whether it's the coverage I see, whether I see blitzes coming. Whether I get his mind right before the game and help him understand what we're going to see when we're playing out there. We got Troy Evans, number 7. He's a vet, all-time purpose leader in the IFL. Knows what he's doing when he's on the field, sees the coverages just like me. Can tell Jordan, hey, let's do this, and it's going to work. So we have another receiver, Lou Dorsey, number 8. He's a vet in IFL. Big guy, 6'5", 6'6", can jump. Had 2 touchdowns last week, played very well. Number 15, Vincent Hobbs, he plays tight end, receiver, can go against any linebacker. I feel like block him, do that job as a tight end, big body, and then he can run a route, get open. He's definitely not going down on first contact, so we got somebody that's also a vet in that tight end position. And then our running back, Quay Hicks, number 17, big dude as well, has that experience as a vet. All these guys I'm naming have either NFL, CFL, AFL experience. And that's just our offense. On defense, we have Roderick Chapman, I feel like, who leads those guys at number 0. Great leader, great guy. I called him about week 4. And, man, I had to tell him we need him. We need him. You're one of the best DBs I've ever seen. Play the indoor game and just football in general, So we need you to come make some plays for us. And he's number 3 in the league, I think, in picks, and he only played half the season. So it's guys like that who came in. De'Aaron Prime's number 3. He's causing havoc every play. I called him week 2, week 3 to come help us out. He came in and it's just ridiculous how many sacks he has, how much pressure he causes, how annoying he is to quarterbacks in this league. We have Taylor Hunt, number 13, rookie. Good listener. He's his little brother, but definitely plays the game with speed, intensity, and loves the game of football. Number 4, Vashon, number 5, Juan, and number 21, Hosea. Those 3 guys right there are all rookies, but they've all been playing well. They don't question you if you tell them something as a vet. They listen, understand it, go out there and execute it on the field, and you can't ask for nothing when you got young guys that want to win. With those 3, we got another vet, Zeno, number 10. He's been playing the IFL for a big-time college ball player. He come in making plays for us. Another rookie, Jay Will, number 22. Just want to shout out all my guys. I'm sorry, Adam. Got to make sure I shout out all my guys on the team.
That's what it's all about, man.
Jay Will does everything we ask him to do from special teams. He's one of those guys that doesn't necessarily start every week, but man, if I didn't say he was a game changer, I'd be lying. Like I was saying, special teams that's bigger to me than defense and offense. Sometimes, man, he pins those guys in every week inside the 5 or 10 at least 3 times for us. And that's something I yell his name before the play, like who's gonna make this play for me? Who's gonna go out there and make a play? We need a play right now. And just like y'all need touchdowns from us, we need somebody to make a play. And Jay Will's one of those guys. Effort, effort, effort. Runs down there, makes plays, and hope I'm not missing anybody that has been playing lately. And but man, we got such a great team. I did number 11 TV, and that's my guy, man. He plays receiver, never complains. He's one of those guys too. He started all year, has the most catches on the team, and he's just one of those guys who listens. He all year long we put him in position to be that guy when I'm getting the double coverage, maybe the triple coverage. Hey, you got to win your matchup over there, and every time he's winning his matchup, so you can't ask for nothing more from a younger guy. Uh, and another thing about TB, if I was a coach, that's the type of player I want on my team. You know what I'm saying? So he sticks out more than anybody on this team when it comes to younger guys. I feel like that need to get a shot at the next level is definitely number 11. Great guy, great kid, and that's just somebody. I wish when I was that age I did what he did. Took the game, did this, and this, so that I could have elevated my game even more. But a great work ethic, great kid, great personality, and I know with the group of guys that we got, those people I just named, there's nobody in this league that's better than us. I'm gonna just be honest with you, Adam. Like, yeah, they might, have this or that, but as far as the individuals we got, nobody's better than us. And I'm not saying that to be cocky. I'm saying that to be confident to next week. I feel like we're the best team in this league, and we've been showing it all year long. Whether it was, coming back and avenging a loss, or just being dominant all game long and showing them that we're, the better team. But uh, this week coming up, this championship game, I feel like with Duluth, we've already came into their house and beat them before. So it's just going in there and repeating the same steps, going in there, listening to the game plan, doing the things that we got to do, and just winning this game. That's it.
You back in it this week, man? You gonna be in the championship game playing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm suiting up this
Oh
week.
man,
So
I'm
yeah,
gonna be watching, man. I may not be watching. Me and my wife went, like I said, me and my wife went to the last 2 games. So she, I think, wants to watch the game with me. I get off work Saturday at like 10 p.m. So I'm not
okay.
gonna be from like 7 to 10 till I get home. I am not gonna pay attention to social media. I'm gonna do my best to stay away from it, so that way the game isn't spoiled and we can watch it uh, together. I'm excited about it, man. Duluth is a very tough team. I mean,
Yeah.
a 6-2 season record, one more win than you guys, but you guys handed them one of their wins or one of their losses that they have. One of the only 2 losses they've had all season. For this
Yep.
coming up game, what is something that has to be done by our team in order for us to come out victorious?
Oh, just limit our mental mistakes. We're not worried about anything as far as the loop. We know what we got in our locker room, and I'm saying this with confidence. We know what we can do when we get out there on that field against them. We're not gonna deal with any of the antics, any of the games. We know we're gonna go in there and play ball and dominate. We know we're not better people than them, but we're a better group of football players than them, in my opinion. So it's not about the talent on the field. It's just about going out there and limiting mental mistakes, executing the plays Coach Bones calls, and doing it to the best of our ability. I feel like if we do that, we can beat anybody.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that was on full display this past week, because the week before there were some mistakes like 2 weeks ago on our part, and I feel like that's why the I want to call them the Barnstormers, but they're the Woo. I'm thinking
Oh
of the wrong
yeah,
thinking of the wrong league. But that's one of the reasons why the Woo were able to come back and make it such a close game, because we made some mistakes this week. We didn't make hardly any mistakes, and the result was a huge difference in the score at the end of the game.
yep.
So that's the big thing we have to do. I agree completely, man. Man, I want to say thank you, Aaron. Man, thank you for coming on the show. Man. for having making time out of your day to come and be part of this show. This episode of the show will be out this week. I have one more episode I'm doing within the next couple of days with another wise guy, one of the guys you mentioned, Darren Primes. He's going to be on the show this coming up week as well, or this week as well. And it will be, hopefully, I can get them both out tomorrow. Hopefully I can get yours online, and Thursday, hopefully I can get his online. Or if not, they'll all be online Friday. I'll have 3 episodes released in one day. I have another episode that I'm releasing. But I'm so grateful that you made the time to come on this show. Having the heart and the respect that you do, it means a lot to me because, like I said at the very beginning of this thing, man, a lot of people don't even have the time of day for people like me. So I really appreciate that you did have that time, did give me that opportunity to come on this show and just chat it up with me about football for a little bit. At the end of my show, go ahead, man.
No, I was just saying I appreciate you for having me. A lot of people always try to thank me and I appreciate you for doing it. I just appreciate honest fans, man, and people that love the game of football. And God blessed me with ability, and I feel like I would be doing him a disservice if I wasn't respectful, wasn't able to give back and just do little things like this. And you didn't ask for much, you didn't ask for a liver or anything like that, man. So it's not hard to pick up the phone and have a conversation with you. So I appreciate you wanting to get this out, wanting to put light on this, guys.
Definitely, man. Like I've told you, I think I told you in the message I sent you on Facebook before you responded. Wiseguys, first professional team in Hot Springs. I've lived here 35 years, my entire life, and we haven't had anything like this. So I am pumped to the max. I've been keeping up with the games, every single game, trying to watch every single week, whether it's on Fan Club or on the Arena League page on YouTube. Been trying to keep up as much as I can, and then finally got to see the last 2 home games of the year. Very, very grateful for you guys being here, being part of this city in the big way that you have been, man. It means the world to me. But at the end of each show, I'm a huge fan not only of mental health, but of gratefulness, because it's a very important thing, in my opinion, and my belief, that you should be grateful for any opportunity given to you. You should be grateful for anything that comes into your life that is a positive thing. And even sometimes you should be grateful for the negative things that happen, because like you said earlier, it's a lesson you can learn and you can be better from that. So at the end of each show, I like to give my guests the opportunity to say 3 things they're grateful for. I do the same. So I say 3 things I'm grateful for and give my guests the exact same opportunity to do that. For me, and my 3 things don't change hardly at all. First thing is my support system, because without my brother, my mom, my dad, my wife, my kids, and any friends or family that support me in doing this or whatever it may have been, wrestling, music, audio dramas, movies, so on and so forth, because I've had a billion different hobbies and things that I love to do. I wouldn't have done any of them. I wouldn't have had that confidence to do anything that I do. So my support system has to be number 1. Number 2 is, well, you, the guests that come on my show, because, I mean, for being honest, Aaron, you didn't have to come on here, man. I'm just some random dude that loves talking to people, and it means the world to me that you would choose to come on this show and have a cool talk with me, have a good conversation with me for an hour, well, more than an hour now. It means the world that you would chill with me and have this cool conversation, even talking about playing video games and whatnot, It means the world to me that you do that, man. So I'm very grateful for that. And the third thing is a 2 for 1, man. It's my health, both mental and physical, because I know what it's like to not be able to move around and not be able to do a lot. I've over the past year, I had something happen and I wasn't able to hardly do anything. Sit up, move around, nothing. And I have my physical health, but also I have my mental health. Going to therapy, being able to use the tools my therapist gives to me and everything like that. It's a huge thing. I'm very grateful for the health that I do have. And the second thing is the good Lord above, man, because if you ain't got God, or if with God, nothing's impossible. And without him, man, everything is impossible, So, Aaron, number 1 for the Wise Guys, what is your 3 things that you are grateful for in this moment.
Mine's are pretty much simple too. Never gonna change with me. It's pretty much God first. My family. I appreciate it. I got a big support system, whether it's my blood family that my blood family, or just my spiritual family, or anybody around. Like my friends I call family. I appreciate my support system. Uh, and my family includes the fans, anybody I meet, come in contact with. All those people that just support me and show love. I appreciate them and consider them family as well. And then the last thing I'm really grateful for is God blessed me to be truly okay with the person I am. I don't ever want to be nobody else. I don't ever want to be, I don't have an identity crisis or a problem or any of that stuff. So I'm just thankful God gave me the right mind, to be glad I'm Aaron Dilworth and I'm not, wanting to be other people in life and wanting all these other stuff. Um, so I would just say being myself for the third thing, or I could say fishing because, if it wasn't football, man, I'll be the best fisherman, That's what I like to do on my off times. Whether it's the nature stuff, fishing or just being in the country, man. I love being around, good vibes. I don't like the city as much or the hustle and bustle. I don't like none of that stuff. I like being by myself, outdoors, working with my hands, stuff like that. So just down to earth, and I can say those are the 3 things that I'm genuinely grateful for. Is my peace of mind that God gave me, being myself, and then my family, and that's all I'm really, those 3 things that I'm really grateful for.
Hey, man, once again, dude, I appreciate the hell out of you coming on here. I appreciate you giving me this time to be able to hang out with you and talk to you, man. Good luck this Saturday. I will be watching at some point that day. I'm like I said, I'm gonna do my damnedest not to look at the score while I'm at work, because I don't want it spoiled for me, whether it's a win or a loss. I want to see it unfold as it happens. You know
As
what I
it
mean?
happens, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I want to watch it. I want to be able to be there. I want to be in the moment and scream at my TV if I want to.
There we
Because
go.
I'm up in the crowd, man, swirling that terrible towel last week, all game long. Wow, guys!
There we go.
All that good stuff. But dude, I appreciate you, man. I will let you get off of here and have a great rest of your night, bud.
Yes, sir. You too. I appreciate you, Adam. You have a great rest of your night as well.
Yes, sir.